But yeah, if I was to give this a review, boring, just boring out of 5.
All right, fair. Um,
Not even a
ladies,
number. It's a B for boring out of.
Hell yeah.
all right, and here we go, back with another episode of the Uncivilized Arts podcast. I'm your host, Birmingham Hazan, but I go by Bandit Hayes in the online space. And today, I'm joined by Lady Celeste. I'm joined by Sweet Buzz of Sweet Buzz Music, and we're going to be talking all things Snow White, the Disney remake from 2025. Remake, well, I say... yeah, remake is the right word to use. It was a remake of the 1937 Snow White, but of course, that's based on the book. Which was not by the Brothers Grimm, which most people believe it was. It wasn't. It goes back way much further than that. But we get all onto that later on. Before, let me not get ahead of myself just yet. But yeah, we're going to talk about all things Snow White a bit later on, get into all kinds of spoilers and discussions and what we think of it and things like that. Before that, we'll just do a few brief non-spoilery type opinions. But before that, Lady Celeste, how you doing today?
I'm feeling fabulous. We got my voice back, so I can be singing and not choking on any apples today.
Oh, you don't definitely don't be choking on apples because the Wicked Queen is going around, so you don't be doing that.
No Adam's apple over here. We're pretty, like, it's right there, but it's pretty girly. Oh yeah, very lavender today. Really fulfilling that orchid fantasy, but you know. We're here for that.
Yeah, I try to go with a fantasy background as well. Well, fantasy-ish background. I don't think
No,
you see
coloring.
it. It's like
my aura.
Yeah.
Live with the aura coloring.
So what you been doing? What you been up to? You managed to watch any movies, play any video games, see any shows, do any cool stuff?
Oh my god, I'm glad you asked because I got to see Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle in theaters. But the funniest part was that the voices were in Japanese and the subtitle text was in Danish. So this bitch is international. I'm like, oh, thank God I know half and half. So I'm like, okay, I understand some of this. But I'm like, what the fuck did they just say? So I had to read somewhat of the Danish text. And I was like, oh, I think I understand that now.
Okay.
That's really nice.
So subtitles in Japan. So subtitles in Danish, speaking in Japanese. And between the two, would you say you got it? You understood the movie, or?
Oh, 1,000%. I understood everything. Like the tiny nuances where I was just like, "What the fuck does that mean?" I'm like, "Oh, that means upper moon." Okay, got it. So it just it's translated weirdly, but after they said it like 20 times, I was like, "Oh, so that's what that means." Okay, so like connecting all the dots.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic movie. Holy crap, did it deserve all the money that it's earned? Yes. It is really long though. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes, I believe. So it's a really long movie. And then I also watched Pixar's latest film called Elio. Oh, God. I'm so glad I didn't see that in theaters because I would be leaving that place like someone's funeral. I cried so hard because it's not a family movie. It is a family movie, but it's not a family movie. Like, spoiler free. If you're a parent and you have kids, this is going to like rip you apart. And if you're not a parent and you're just like a lonely person, this might touch you or in like a soulful way where you're just like wanting to feel like you belong somewhere in a different manner. But this one tore me apart because I have kids and I can't watch movies the same anymore because now that I have kids. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I used to love horror movies. Be like, oh, he's dead. And I'm like, oh my God, that could be my son. Ah. So I can't watch things normally anymore. It really fucking sucks. But Elio, watch that. Watch Demon Slayer. And then I've been playing League and Pokemon again. So Jesus Christ.
Oh.
It's been good on League. It's been so good. I got a pentakill the other day.
A pentakill? Is that 5 kills?
Yes, simultaneously. And that means you took out the other team. So like, yeah, your team can help you get it, but you're the last hit kill. So you get like, kind of like you kill a person, then if you kill 2, it counts as double kill, triple kill, then they're like quadra kill. And then if you kill all of them, if you're the last hit, you get that pentakill. Like, oh,
The game that Celeste loves to hate, but you got a pentakill, so you're doing
I fucking hate that I love that game. And it's such a drug. So I haven't played it so much. And then when I started playing, I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm fucking good. So it was really bad the other night. Really quick, gonna end it on this. I was playing with my friend and he took every single last kill. I was at quadra kill. I was like, oh, and then he's like, no, like duty stop, and then he killed them. I was like, no, took my penta. And the worst part is, not just once, not just twice. It was like 4 times. 4 times I got like a quadra kill. So my KDA, if you go to my Discord, I posted a picture of it. It was 44 kills in a single game. And that's really freaking high, okay? Like, I don't know what the fuck. But not only him, but my other teammate took my fucking penta from me. So, fuck you. And I'm ending it on that.
All right, cool. You know, I mean, all I know is that when I play like multiplayer games, which granted I don't play a lot of, but you know, when you play like a shooter or whatever, and you're firing at somebody and you unloading on some dude, and then some arsehole gets like the last bullet or whatever, and you just see on your screen assist. It's like, what the hell, man? Like, you do all the work and somebody's like, yeah, they get the kill and you get the assist. It's like, nah. They need to bring back friendly fire in video games. I swear.
Yeah, so the other part too, really quick. My last game of that night, playing with that friend who stole 4 pentakills from me, we had a really hard game, the last game. I got a champion that I liked, and he got like a mid champion that he's okay with. But we had one character playing the fox chick, Ari, you know, the 9 tails. She went 0 and like 16 deaths. 16 deaths, 0 and 16. And we were just like, dude, that was like a 4v4 game. But somehow they were like, okay, let's forfeit. This person over here really fucking sucks. I'm like, hey, dude, do not forfeit. I will put my backpack on. I will make sure we win. Guess what? This bitch got 22 kills and we brought it home. Yay! Okay, now we end it on a positive note.
Awesome. All right, Mr. Sweet Bundy, how you been? How you doing? What you been up to this past 3-4 weeks? Or something like that?
I'm exhausted, but, you know, I've had some great news recently, so I got a job promotion, and then I was told about a raise, and then I was told about a potential raise at the end of another potential raise at the end of the year. So that was great.
Big
I've
money,
just been tired. Yeah, you know, it can always be more, but
well,
listen, I'll take what I can get. Last time I asked for a raise, they gave me like a quarter, you know. So to go up
quarter of what you had before, or
no,
a quarter as
a
in like
literal quarter. 25 cents.
Per hour?
You know? So
it must have given a pack of crisps.
Oh, you can afford water.
No. Over here with a quarter, you can't get shit. I don't know what you get with a quarter anymore. Even if you give a quarter to somebody in the street, they'll look at you like you're crazy. You may as well have given them nothing. But anyway, yeah, it's a good, you know, little bump to my pay. So I was happy about that. I needed that. As far as games, I've only been playing Baldur's Gate 3. And I uninstalled Rivals for the upteenth time. You know, I'm working on a record right now. Maybe, you know, 20 more times. But as far as watching anything, I started watching the latest season of Gen V.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't got to that yet, but yes, yeah, that's been released. I think they're doing it. Are they doing it episodic, or is it all at once?
They released the first 3 episodes all at once, and then episode 4 just came out last week. So we're gonna be getting episode 5. I don't know if it's like Wednesday or Thursday, but one of those days.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, I have to get to that. That's Gen V. The first season was excellent, and of course, The Boys. This has been brilliant anyway. So yeah, I'd have to get to that.
Yeah, and I'll just say this: it's good.
All
So it's
right.
good.
Cool.
I feel like it's not fair for me to say if it's better than the previous season yet, because one, it's not done. Two, it's been a while since I've seen the first season, so I would like to
Sure.
rewatch it before I make that opinion. But nonetheless, just on its own, this is good. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. Yeah, so as for myself, let's see. I downloaded that game from Steam, Robocop Rogue City. It came out, I think, like 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was on sale, so I went for it. It was like £5, wasn't expensive. It was like £4 something, and it was like cool, because I've heard lots of good things about it. Plus, I'm a Robocop fan from like old school Robocop, 1989, one of my favorite films of like ever. But I've never played a Robocop game before. But this one, I've been hearing lots of good things about it, so I got it, played it, and it is so boring. Like I don't understand why people like this game. It's so boring. Like it literally, like it's set in, but parts of it set in a city. You're walking around, there's nobody there, and you have these characters that speak, and I'm, you know, talk about like how good voice acting in video games is important when you have characters. It really is, because like I'm not saying like their voice acting is bad, so to speak, but you could kind of tell like they didn't. It feels like they just got people from the office. You know what I mean? Like I think apart from Peter Weller, who actually did Robocop the original, is in it. Like I did read that he voices Robocop in his game as well. So I guess apart from him, maybe it feels like. But even his one, it's like he's Robocop, so he's not exactly emoting much anyway. So it's so boring. Like the shoot, I would say this. So the shoot, when you do get to shoot stuff, it's pretty cool. When you do finally get to shoot stuff, it's pretty cool. But it could be a while. You just kind of walk in, and there's like no music in the background while you're doing anything. So it's just like flipping out, man. Who greenlit this? Like, and why do people like it? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm just too stupid to get it. I don't know. But I am not having a good time with Robocop Rogue City at all. And
I didn't mean to laugh so hard, but that's hilarious. Like, as someone who worked in the video game industry, I can tell you for a fact we probably wrote that up, and they just like, nope, ship it that way. So
yeah,
that's stupid. No one's stupid enough to greenlight it like that. That's all.
Yeah, that was but yeah, people seem to like it. Like I said, it's got a lot of good reviews, a lot of good ratings and things like that. So I guess I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yeah, I didn't enjoy that. Well, if I say I haven't completed it, I think I've played maybe about 40-50 minutes of it, maybe an hour of it. But yeah, so I'm just not. Actually, no, it's probably more than that. It's probably closer to about 2 or 3 hours, I think, by now. But yeah, I'm not enjoying it so far at all. But maybe I'll give it a little bit more before I decide to give up on it completely. But yeah, it's a shame. I do like Robocop the movie, though. The original Robocop is just excellent. If you've never seen it, that is a highly recommended movie. Just superb. Brilliant film. But speaking of brilliant films, I did watch One Battle After Another. That came out just a few days ago. It stars
that's the DiCaprio.
DiCaprio, yes, yeah, and that was really good. That was excellent. I won't say anything about it just because we're not trying to discuss that just yet. And also, I didn't know much, or I didn't know anything about it before going in because I didn't watch any trailers or anything like that. So, no trailers, no clips. I just knew, DiCaprio's in it, Tiana Taylor, Regina Hall, a few other actors whose names I'm blanking on right now. But I basically just knew some of the actors who were in it and then who directed. That's pretty much all I knew. And I did hear, I guess I heard that, some people liked it and things like that. But I was like, I want to go see this because I think, you want to see films. First of all, I feel like DiCaprio chooses good movies. Like for me, I feel like anytime I've seen a DiCaprio movie, he's very rarely done a dud. So I kind of have a trust in that respect. I know he has his questionable lifestyle, but as far as his movies goes, he seems to pick good movies, like really good, solid movies. So I had a kind of trust in that. Yeah. And then I thought, you know what? I don't know much about the story, the plot, blah blah blah. But yeah, just went to see it and just let it do what it does, and it was excellent. So yeah, I'm not going to say what happens, not going to say what it's about. I just say go see it. It's an excellent film. But yeah, I think that's been pretty much myself. Or well, actually, I watched just three other stuff. Oh, you know what? Actually, I've been watching Only Murders in the Building.
Like that.
On
I
Disney
saw that
Plus.
the other day. Yeah.
It's so good. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it's a popular show. I don't know how popular it is though, but it must be doing okay because it's on the 5th season. But I don't really see a lot of people talking about it, like online or anything like that, in any great way. So I don't know if it's madly popular, but yeah, I really like that show. Like, I've watched all seasons so far. It's on the 5th season right now. I think it's about halfway through the 5th season right now. And to me, it's just one of the best examples of a comedy drama where, a lot of times the comedy dramas, they're either too much in the drama and then it's not funny, or they're too much in the comedy and you just can't take it seriously. I feel like this is one of the shows that's really got that balance between comedy, drama, just spot on, and it's been really good throughout. Selena Gomez, Martin Short, Steve Martin are in it as well, and they've all, and they've had various actors, like big superstar actors in some of the seasons throughout as well. So yeah, if you're on the fence about it, that's another show I'd recommend. But anyway, let's talk just a little bit about Snow White in a non-spoilery fashion before we get into the main discussion. So, we've all seen Snow White. I'm assuming we've all seen the original Snow White as well. Well, the original, as in the 1937, technically not the original, but we won't get into that just yet. But I'm assuming we've all seen both Disney versions of Snow White. So, Sweet Bundy, in a brief non-spoiler review / opinion, what's your thoughts on the 2025 live action Snow White movie?
This shit was boring. Honestly, there was only one actor in here that I was like, oh shit, I actually woke up a little bit and then they were gone. I was like, oh, wait, come back, please. And then they had another scene. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. All right, he's coming back. And that was it. So, yeah, this shit was boring. Even the music, it is a lot of singing, a lot. But I mean, yeah, that comes with Disney products and stuff. I get it, but the songs got to be good. Like, this might be controversial to say, but even with the Mufasa live action movie, I didn't get to finish the whole thing, but there was at least one song that I liked. I don't care what anyone says. And no, it wasn't the fucking Brother song. I fucking hate that song. It wasn't that song. It was the Bye Bye song. That Bye Bye song, that shit was fire. I don't care what anyone says. Anyone who says otherwise, I respect your opinion, but you're wrong. You're wrong. This movie, they had one song in it that I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, but the person singing it can't sing, so that sucks. Yeah, I was just like, what the fuck? And then there was some shit that they put out, and we'll go into more details about it in the full review, but they put some shit out that you're like, oh, that was rage bait the whole time. Wow, I feel deceived. I've been bamboozled. It was what the fuck? I didn't hate this movie. I just sat there and I was just like, fuck. This is fucking boring. So when you were talking about Robocop and everything, I thought you were talking about the movie at some point. I thought you were talking about this movie. That shit was boring. I was like, what the hell? What is going on? Now, to be absolutely fair, I wasn't a fan of the original. I liked the animation and everything and all that. Of course, the things that you always hear. At least it had some value. I didn't hate this film and I didn't hate the original. I only remembered the original because I watched it maybe once, right? Every kid has, from our generation and older. But yeah, this shit was like, it's one of those things where, again, it's like, it shouldn't have been made. It should have just, or if you're gonna do something like this, do it better. There's no excuse to just throw out some bullshit. You could have just had something. You already made changes. How about you make changes that are worth it? Make changes that are, like, damn, that's a great idea. That's something new. That's testing. Like the most controversial shit in here was, well, I can't even tell you, but it was something where I was like, oh, I'm surprised that they showed that. I'm surprised. And that was it. But yeah, if I was to give this a review, boring. Just boring out of 5.
All right, fair.
Not even a number. It's a B for boring out of 5.
Hell yeah.
Boring out of 5. All right.
It's not even a number, bitch.
We should have like a scale of we should just kind of develop a scale like from boring to excellent out of 5. Or something. We have to figure it out
more times. Like good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely sucks ass. Boring. It's I
guess we should
pretty good. Good. Yeah.
So bad. This is another show that I threw Bundy under the bus. Here you go, Bundy. Here, watch some boring ass shit. And then he's like, you know what? This shit I recommended was boring. And I was like, oh shit.
But I already had a feeling when you first brought it up that this was not your movie. That this was like something. Yeah, I already knew. So
no, it's cool. I mean, we're not always going to talk about movies that we enjoy, and like I said, it's less about whether we enjoy the movies or not, and more about what we think about, what we get from it, and that kind of thing. So we'll get more into details about that sort of stuff a bit later.
There's movies that are legitimately bad. Like this isn't. Well, we'll go into it, but yeah, there are movies that are legitimately bad that I love. Like I could tell you right off the bat, The Room, Troll 2.
Oh yeah.
That's
okay,
that's close.
fucking.
Yeah. Was that
iconic, right? Cult followings. Like, yeah. So definitely. But this was not it. This was just fucking boring.
All right. Yeah. Fair. All right. So, Celeste.
Hi.
What's your brief, non-spoiler opinion / review before we get into the full details of this movie of Snow White 2025?
This was not the princess you were looking for. She is in another castle. There you go. That is my brief version of Snow White, because I went in thinking this is going to be absolute hot garbage. It was not as woke as people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
They pivoted a lot, and coming from an artistic perspective, I see where they pivoted, and there's a lot of points where they tried to fix where I'm like, okay, I see what you try to do, but this is just too far gone. You're already so far in debt that you just got to release it to see if you get any money back. And I'm just like, no, I think if they kept the press tour with talking points, it would have at least made more money back than where they had now. So it's just kind of like, this is just not the princess that you wanted. And is it a bad movie? Nah. I wouldn't say it's the worst, but I think it's good for younger little kids, but where my mentality is at, I'm like, this could have been a lot better, and I'm very disappointed. So yeah, on a scale of 1 through 5, not Bundy's boring through 5, it's definitely a 1.75.
1.75. Get specific now. 1.75, not 1.74, not 1.7. Okay.
Oh God, 4 is a number. No, 75. Gotta give some credit to some of the areas was like, oh, that's good, and then some of the other parts was just kind of like, that's a choice. That's okay. I think I like that. I think I did, and then I really realized that I did like certain parts. So that's why it's got a 1. But overall tone is it's just drop dead beat. Like, what is this? But yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I think I agree with both of you in parts, but maybe not entirely. I mean, for me, I just thought it was, it's not terrible. Certainly, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of we'll get in some of those as well. But there's a lot of talk about there was a lot of talk about this movie, and a lot of it has nothing to do with the movie itself in terms of what you see when you watch the movie. It's more to do with what happened outside of the movie. But yeah, the movie itself, the film itself, from start to finish, it's all right. You know what I mean? It's not terrible. It's not brilliant. It's okay. Like, I mean, I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, from when I looked online, it seems kids who watched it seem to enjoy it, and this is fundamentally a kids movie. So I guess they did something right if their target audience enjoy it. Nobody cares what some middle-aged man thinks about it. It's like they're not making it for me anyway. But yeah, it seemed just to me. I think there was one particular song that I really liked, and I thought that I don't know if we're talking about the same singer or different singers. We'll find out in a moment. But I thought this particular singer was amazing. But yeah, overall, it's just So out of 5, it's a out of 5. That's what I'll give it. And
what's the number then?
it's an out of 5.
Both of you and your sounds and boring.
Yeah,
at least you're on the number line.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I guess 1, 2,
Yeah, see,
3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, I've probably in total watched this film, I think, like 3 or 4 times. Once because I actually did a video on one of my channels about this movie. So I watched it, I think, twice for that, and then, or maybe 3 times for that, and then once again to prepare for this podcast. And so yeah, I've definitely got some things to say because, like I said, I've done a video about it. So I did do some reading on this film. So we'll get more into those details in a bit. But for now, out of 5. So that is the non-spoiler bit done. Let's get into the main discussion. So this is your spoiler warning. We're going to get into some spoilers for Snow White 2025, and most likely spoilers for Snow White 1937 as well, and possibly Snow White Brothers Grimm and Snow White GM Batista Basili. I might be saying it wrong, but yeah, we're basically just gonna go into as much detail about Snow White and Snow White history as we can. So this is your spoiler warning. If you've seen the movies, cool. If you haven't, you may want to go ahead and watch that, or if you just don't care for spoilers, then cool. But this is your spoiler warning. So here we go. Let me see. Let me start off. So I'm going to say that one of the things I really liked about it was I thought Rachel Zegler is an amazing singer.
Yes.
She is an absolutely incredible talent. The song "Waiting on a Wish," was for me the standout of the movie. Some other people probably shouldn't be singing though. They should probably do as little singing as possible. Like maybe just don't. But Rachel Zegler was amazing. Now, so yeah, like as I said before, I think a lot of the discussion about this film is less about the film itself and just people didn't like it because Rachel Zegler was very pro-Palestine, or they didn't like it because Gal Gadot was very pro-Israel, and that became this big talking point. People boycotting it from both sides of opinions. So it kind of like almost had no chance in the cinema. Interestingly enough, though, it did do very well on Disney Plus. Which I guess is not too surprising. Was it Disney Plus? It was like I think it was actually the top streamed movie for a month or two. It did really well on Disney Plus.
I mean, that doesn't really count because like a lot of times I'm quite sure a lot of parents probably just put that shit on for their kids without even looking into the movie or anything,
Sure, and that's going to be a part of it as well. But
you throw my little girl to watch that,
Yeah.
To be fair, I've fallen asleep to it like probably 4 times. not actually trying. Like I was trying to watch it, but I was so exhausted I passed it out. So, like it inflated a little bit of the numbers.
I almost fell asleep too. And I wasn't even tired.
Yeah. Just that boring. But yeah, I mean that's going to be a part of, you know, those numbers, and of course the people who boycotts it from the cinema. Disney Plus kind of provides a low risk way of watching it just to kind of know what it's about, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So there's all kinds of reasons why it could have been boosted on Disney Plus, but at least it got its flowers in some respect, even if it wasn't the flowers they wanted. But yeah, let's see. So in terms of, you know, comparisons to the original, yeah, they've changed quite a few things. I didn't mind the changes personally. I wouldn't say they all worked, but I didn't think they were particularly egregious either. You know, one of the big ones, of course, was the CGI dwarfs. And I didn't.
That shit.
Yeah, like for me, it was like, I think if I was in charge of, I don't know, Disney Creative or whatever, I feel like I would have went with, you know, actors for the dwarves. That being said, the dwarves themselves didn't really stand out. I mean, in terms of the aesthetic, the overall aesthetic of the film, like they weren't necessarily standing out like a sore, you know what I mean? Like they didn't seem out of place as CGI dwarfs in this movie, since there's a lot of CGI in this film just anyway. So even though, yeah, I think a lot of people would have preferred they use real actors, myself included, I think in fairness, it didn't necessarily ruin the film, you know? But
so about that really quickly. So remember that little posse of like theatrical people with like
the actors, yeah.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
They were supposed to be the replacement for the dwarfs. That's why Quinn, the master of the crossbow, is an actual dwarf. So instead they were trying to be very progressive and having like all these different people. There were 7 of them, and they were supposed to initially replace the dwarfs. When they had the first lick of that released, it got so much backlash that they had to go back and get dwarfs, like actual dwarfs. So like they first had Peter Dinklage had a comment. He's just like, "Oh, you're so progressive casting a Latina girl as Snow White, but now you still have like dwarfs, like you dwarven people playing dwarfs. Like, couldn't we be a little bit more progressive?" So they were like, "Yeah, you know what? Why don't we push that envelope?" And then it got backlash because it's called 7, like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. You know, like, why are you going to change too much? So that's why they had that theater troupe, and they're kind of like, well, we have these shots. We don't really want to waste these shots. And like Quinn is such a cool character. So they had to do reshoots, and you can tell when they did that because it's like, ew, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, like when I first saw the picture, I was like, okay, so this is what they're doing. All right, fuck it. You know, I've been, you know, I've had shit shat on multiple times when it came to like live action remakes and everything. It's just something that just comes with the territory. So you know, as you get older, it's like, all right, fuck it. Yep, you gonna fuck this up too. All right, cool. And for me, it was a little easier because I was, you know, again, I wasn't a Snow White fan, so I was all right, cool, fuck it. So when I went into this movie, I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna be the dwarves, but then I see these motherfuckers CGI. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? These guys looking like the damn Rice Krispie gnomes or whatever, you know. And it was just fucking weird. They're all CGI'd, and it's not bad CGI. Don't get me wrong, but we're already in an age where if you have bad CGI, something went wrong. Yeah. So you know, it's just odd because they don't blend in. Even the fucking the animals, shit. I feel like the animals looked worse. The animal CGI looked worse. And, you know, I'm not expecting them to use real animals, but shit, why you got Bambi smiling and shit like, yeah, that's cool. Like, nah. They had so many moments in here that I was like, get this shit off the screen. Let's get to the point of the story. Like the fucking dress floating and everything. But anyway, I don't want to ramble about that part. My point is the dwarves. That's what I wanted to talk about. I felt like that was rage bait. When they put that picture out and shit, if it wasn't intentional for them to replace it, I feel like they put that shit out there on purpose to piss people off, because that's what I heard about. I heard about 3 things. 1, the Gal Gadot thing that you mentioned about Israel support and everything. 2, Rachel didn't like Snow White. She kind of like implied that Snow White was offensive or whatever. And then 3, the fucking dwarves.
Yeah.
So those were the 3 top controversies that I heard. And I was like, okay, so I'm thinking, all right. And instead, I see these CGI motherfuckers and fucking dopey looking all weird and shit. He didn't even look dopey. I thought he was gonna be bashful or something. And then he says, "I'm dopey." Nigga, you ain't dopey. Like, stop. You are not dopey.
So I wanted to comment. Sorry to interrupt you again, Bandit.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, in 2001, Kristen Couric, Chun-Li, and like Smallville actress Kristen Couric, Asian hottie. She was actually Snow White in a 2001 movie called Snow White, Fairest of Them All. I believe that this is a Hallmark movie, so it did not hit silver screen. It was on TV only. They were progressive in changing the dwarfs to like different sized people, and they used their power. Like they had powers too, so it's okay. Like I'm okay with this idea, but they used the days of the week. So, like, instead of happy, Doc, bashful, sleepy, dopey, and sneezy, and whoever the fuck else I'm gonna say bashful, I don't fucking know. So they use the 7 days of the week instead, and they like use this rainbow transportation. So it's like you can do this properly and have people of different stature and appeal. And it was actually like one of this huge thing in the movie where they had conflict, and it's like, oh, we don't have all the doors, we can't use our magic powers. So I just wanted to make a note, like they have had a Hollywood version where they had different people play dwarfs, and it was actually well received, and it was under ABC, which is still technically Disney. So it's just kind of like, you guys should have like referenced that one. I don't know, kind of stupid. Yeah. So
yeah. Well, I feel it's one of the things when it comes to like these big movies where they put so much money into it and, you know, they promote it so much. Of course, they want to make their money back. That's understandable. I think we all, you know, kind of get that from a business point of view. But I think that one of the problems is that they become so risk adverse in the sense that the moment anything doesn't sit well with a test audience, you know, things get changed, or they hear a bit of backlash about something they're doing. Oh, we better reshoot, you know, stuff like that. And reshoots aren't inherently bad things, of course. You know, they can be, they're quite common, and you know, something just needs a fix or tweak or whatever, and it's fine. They could be great, but you know, yeah, they can also be just tweaking something that just doesn't need to be tweaked. You know, it could have been had they released it with the band of erstwhile actors who's been what do you say, whose sustenance has been made unsustainable by the economic. I can't remember what you said. Anyway, the point is, had they gone with that as a replacement for the dwarfs, that could have been a really interesting take on this idea of Snow White and Seven Helpers. Because in the original stories, you know, the dwarves weren't even there. You know, like the old school Snow White stories, dwarves weren't even there. Dwarves came, I believe, with the Brothers Grimm versions, or maybe some of the later Brothers Grimm versions. But before that, before the Snow White stories and folk tales going before that, they weren't even there. So, yeah, they're not necessarily. I'm not going to say they're essential. They're not unimportant, but you know, you can do something different with them and still maintain the same kind of general story. But yeah, I think Disney and a lot of these big companies like that, you know, they could be a little bit too unwilling to take certain risks, I think, at times. And I guess with this one, especially when you already got so much backlash over this reason, over that reason, people pledge you to boycott because of this, because of that, because of this, and it's like, oh, flip it, you can't please nobody.
Yeah, I mean, if you're too afraid to take risks, even with a film like this, it's like, I'm not saying, you know, chopping off heads and everything, because kids still have to watch it. But
yeah, it's still a good kids movie.
We have to also respect the intellect of kids that, like, when we were growing up, I remember in the Tarzan animated film, they showed that motherfucker get hung. That was crazy. But I wasn't traumatized. I wasn't.
Yeah, that would have been the 80s,
God,
though.
I can't sleep.
80s was wild.
Yeah. No, where
actually, no, 80s, not for you. Maybe late 80s.
Kidding me? I still cry. I mean, anyone watching Mufasa die off of a wildebeest stampede would fucking cry with a crooked whisker. Oh my God.
You want to talk about traumatic children's movies? Have you guys seen The NeverEnding Story?
That's not traumatic to me.
I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh my days! You watch that horse drown, and you
attack! Oh my God! No! Don't let this happen! You're a fucking horse.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The horse was like, feeling depressed, and that's what caused it to.
It got taken by the sadness.
Yeah, that's so.
And he was pulling the horse, and he couldn't pull the horse, and he was like, "Come on, please." And
he should have gave that motherfucker an apple.
Man.
I know, he's probably hungry. Like, you rode me forever, didn't give me any water, no bread. Yeah, I'm fucking done. Fuck you.
Starving that motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. That did not.
I'd be sad too.
I'm just like, no, that horse is done. You rode him. You're not being nice, not giving him anything. No, that's not a sad moment.
You know what?
To me, it's not sad.
Heartless people in this crew right now.
No, fucking Princess Bride when he's like, you want pain? You think Buttercup's here? 50 years life off of Wesley. Wesley! Evil fucking man! And then you just hear him screaming, and it's just like poor little Buttercup being like, my Wesley! Little Kung Pao kid just be all like, no, Grandpa, I don't want to hear about the stupid love story. Oh, he's fucking up my movie.
All right. So Bundy, you mentioned something about what Rachel Zegler said about comparing to the original, and she talks about in a interview that how she's not being stalked by the prince in this version, she's not being saved by that kind of thing. What was your thoughts on that change? Because in the original, you did have. I mean, the prince isn't really in the movie a whole lot in the original. No. He's just kind of mentioned in writings, and he appears at the end. But he does basically stalk her. Like, I mean, if you read the stories and stuff, he is basically stalking her just off camera. She's not wrong in that assessment. But what did you think of the changes from, having this Prince Charming and, that kind of thing to... Well, we don't even have a prince. He's not in the traditional sense. He's a
bandit.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name right now, but
his name's Jonathan.
Jonathan, that was it. Yeah. If I'm going to say that he is a prince, but I'll come back to that. But he's not a prince by title.
I get what you mean.
But yeah, he's a prince in the sense that. Okay, now let me come back to that because there's a whole bunch of explanations. But yeah, what's your thoughts on the Prince Charming from the original to just no prince in this?
First off, I didn't even know or recall what she was like talking about. I didn't know she was saying all of that or remembered that she said all of that. I think it's stupid because we can't. First off, it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon that we watched for eons. That shit came out in like the 1940s or 50s or something, right? Snow White?
Yeah,
1940s.
It's what launched Disney today.
No, not 97.
37.
37.
I thought he was saying
1937.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying 1997. I was like, hell no.
Yeah, Snow White was the first feature-length cartoon movie. That's why it started Disney's career.
Yeah. So it's like we're gonna really sit here and be like, "Oh, this is so offensive." And listen, all right, there's a lot of shit from back then that was offensive, and we can't do anything about it now. Okay, it's not like we got it. For example, there was a cartoon, or matter of fact, there was a fucking movie that Disney did, where this guy, he used to be a slave, or he is a slave, one or two, and he was like, yeah, he even sang a song, it ain't so bad, and I forgot the name of it. It's not like we're gonna recreate that fucking movie and do it beat by beat. No, that's why they have disclaimers on some of these films when they release them, saying, hey, it's a different time back then. I think that's more appropriate. Don't sit there and hark on it and be like, oh, it was so offensive. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well,
It
just
doesn't
to be
matter.
clear, she wasn't actually complaining that was offensive. She just pointed out that that's what happened in the movie.
Well,
No, she
either way, she should have.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, he was stalking her. That's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like shit like that. Just let's focus on now, okay? Because first off, you got this fucking role, okay? It makes no sense talking shit about the role that you're in and be like, it's almost like you're trying to say, yeah, we're gonna do it better than them. Like, no, just focus on now. Focus on what you're doing. What are you adding new to this? Don't try to hark on what was before. So that I'm against. And then when you did something, I guess new, it wasn't even good. The only good thing that she did was the fucking singing. She could sing her ass off. 100%. She could sing her ass off. But about the Bandit Prince, he was ass. He was ass. I mean, he's more involved in this than I remember him from I barely remember him from the original film. I barely remember the original film besides like the very highlights. You know, Hi Ho, She Ate the Apple, that ugly ass witch, the fucking villain. Boy, and the artwork, man, it's amazing to think about how far back that was released, the artwork. But we could talk about that shit for like over an hour easily. But anyway, those are iconic moments, right? And let's focus on the prince. The prince, it's like, well, he came and I don't even remember if he actually kissed her and that's how she woke up, because that's
He
Sleeping
does.
Beauty, isn't it? Oh, that's the same thing that they did in Snow White.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Okay, so yeah, it's like, I don't know. In this one, it was like whatever. He was charismatic, to be honest. Like in this film, he had charismatic moments. Like when he was in the fucking woods and everything, I was shocked as hell when they shot him in the shoulder and they showed that. I was like, oh shit! I thought they would do it like he got grazed, if anything, but no, he got shot through the fucking shoulder. That was kind of badass. Yeah. They showed that shit too. I was like, damn, if he didn't do that shit, she would have got killed. That shit would have went through her neck and everything. Oh my god. I was like, oh, okay. But that's the most edgy that it gets. Yeah, he was okay. I kind of wish that I'm being silly right here, but honestly, I got the urge to fucking watch that scene from Shrek when they were singing in the woods and shit. When he's like, he's bad, he's really, really bad. I wanted that shit. But what they did here, it was like, you had a fight. It was bullshit. Honestly, if those guards were actually serious, as serious as that motherfucker that shot you in the shoulder, everybody would have been dead. What the fuck did they have to really defend themselves? I don't even think they had real swords. They had like wooden swords and shit, toy swords, and they going against a whole fucking army. This army that Gal Gadot claimed that I'm building this for you. For what? Who are we fighting? I didn't see one fucking dragon in here, and I remember a dragon being in Snow White. Unless I'm tripping.
You're tripping.
I think you're tripping.
That's Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, that's Sleeping Beauty.
God damn it!
You watched the right movie? Like what?
What are you watching?
Yo,
Are you high?
I could have sworn.
Yeah, you're tripping. You're.
To be fair, it is the same premise. There's a prince, princess, the bitch falls asleep, she gets kissed, wakes up, bada bing, bada boom.
I mean, yeah, it's like 9% of them old school Disney movies are like pretty much the same plot. So yeah.
But I'm sitting here, I'm like, what the fuck are we fighting for? Like, what the fuck is the threat? Like, there's nobody. It'll be different if it was like, I feel like that's what this was missing.
Like a proper threat.
Yeah, shit. Do some Game of Thrones shit. Say winter is coming. Have her really have a reason to be a fucking villain. But instead, she's just like, yeah, who's the fairest? And Mira's like, Snow White. Oh, I don't like that shit. But I will. Yo, I gotta say this before I forget it. The best actor in this fucking film. I'm gonna mispronounce his name, but I had to look it up. Okay, and I had to say his name. That's how good he was, because he woke me up. Ansu Koba,
the Huntsman.
Like Yes, the Huntsman. That motherfucker, boy, that nigga scared me. I was about to run away from the movie. When he was like, "Run before I change my mind."
I'm like, damn, son, all right.
Yo, he was scary as hell. I love that guy. Can act. That motherfucker came and did a job. I feel like she actually got scared. She looked like she was about to just run into a different film. She probably ran to a different studio. Okay, that shit was intense. And guess what, Bandit? That motherfucker's British.
Oh well, yeah.
It's something about these British actors that they are every single fucking time. They come on screen. You don't even know they're British right away, and just fucking takes the whole scene.
Oh, apparently he was in Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
What?
Oh, really? We're in the same movie then.
Fuck.
In UK Newsreader. There you go.
What other films is he in?
Because
he was really, really good.
Express. He was in Last Christmas. He hasn't done too much.
Oh, listen. God damn it. This guy was good. And he was just in such a short scene. But the reason why I'm emphasizing this is not to go ahead and exaggerate, but really think about it. I'm watching this film. I'm bored as hell. They open the fucking film with a fucking 8 to 10 minute song. Okay. And mind you, I I'm not trying to be mean, so please forgive me. Okay.
You can't be. It's okay.
That little girl that they had, little Snow White, when she's singing, they should have put some auto-tune on her ass, had her sound like Young Thug if they had to, because that song, she was trying to hit them notes. It wasn't working. Just chill. Like you got heart. I respect it. And then the dad's still singing after the fucking beat already stopped, and the fucking dad's still singing. Nigga, shut up and take your ass to go die. Like, please.
Damn, we triggered Band.
When a cappella.
Hurt. He is offended Disney.
Yeah.
2 hours.
All right. That was okay. A lot to process there, but okay, we'll circle back.
My bad. This was supposed to be about the Prince.
I'm having a good time. This is not alcohol, it's tea. You see my tea bag? Basically
Celeste, what was your thoughts on the changes they made with the Prince? With the Prince character.
I'm so disappointed. Like, why couldn't he be all like, oh no, I'm a prince dude. Why do we have to see him stealing from the queen? Like, automatically, like, why is his first scene, I'm a thief, you're gonna fall in love with me, I'm the heroic man, and then it's like, you're not that special. Really? Why are we going for like mid men now? Is that what we're teaching people? It's okay to go lower than your level? Like, shouldn't you try to be like at the same level, like princess level, and then he's a janitor or below that? Like, nothing wrong with janitors, that's a respectful job, but he's a fucking thief, like, that's stupid. I did not like him. I also hated his song Princess Problems. That's like a slap to Disney. Like, your whole fucking thing is princesses. People go to your theme parks because there's a fucking princess castle. People buy your merch because it's fucking princess shit. Mm-hmm. Are you insane? Like, your whole thing is princesses, and you are fucking mocking them. It's like, it's cute that you did it in Frozen, but it was empowering because Anna still got her fucking man, and she's happy with it. So that's okay. Because, like, yeah, you can't just meet Susan and blah, 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 I'm going to marry you. No, that's so stupid. I really hated this Jonathan character. Like, the actor, he worked with what he got. I feel bad for him because now he's like the Aladdin person. Like, it's supposed to launch your career. No, it basically killed it. You have no other career. Like, good thing you're a white guy because you still have prospects. People will still hire you and just be like, yeah, that's just what happened. I took the job, but you know what? I'm still trying my best because that's not going to hold me back. It might hold you back because sometimes Disney's the killer,
Yeah.
So, like, let's just see what happens. But I don't think he's necessarily a bad actor, but what he was given was crap. And that character that they wrote, like, was just not good for Snow White. I'm not saying that we needed more of him. I'm just saying he should not have been written as a bandit in his own kingdom. And like, oh yeah, I need to inspire my princess to be stronger. When like the whole thing is like brave, true, kindness, and courage. It's like, What the heck? This guy is not that. Like, you don't need courage to steal. Like, if anything, it's like you should have courage to stand up against tyranny. So, no, I don't like this guy. I don't like how he was written. The actor was okay. I don't think he needed that song of Princess Problems. I think that was ridiculous. Not that great.
I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even remember that song. But you mentioned Aladdin, and yeah, if they wanted to go ahead and have this guy play this role, they should have went the Aladdin route, where Aladdin was just, I mentioned that he was charismatic, but I only found him charismatic in that one forest scene where I could kind of see potential for him. Any other time, it was like, okay, he's here. I didn't dislike him, but I did not care for him. He was just, a lot of the people in this fucking film, it's like they're stand-ins. They may as well have been fucking cardboard cutouts.
I agree. This guy was not attractive. Like, they're trying to give us the Firefly lovey-dovey moment. I'm like, this guy? Like, he doesn't hold a candle to, like, animated Flynn Rider. Like, what the hell? Like, sorry, dude, you're an actor. Like, congratulations, you got the role. But, like, I'm sorry, you're not selling that sexy fantasy of, like, this guy coming to save me if I'm a princess and choking on an apple. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I'll wait a little bit longer.
Something should have been done for sure. Like, more personality and everything. Listen, like I said, I wanted more Ansu, the Huntsman. Even though he scared me, I was like, this motherfucker can act.
But that was his job. That was his job to fucking tell her to get the fuck out of there. Because
he did it. He did good.
Yeah, so that's my turn on the prince. I don't like him. I really don't think he's charismatic in the slightest. His lines were like mid at best or worse. I don't
remember any of them.
The one I remember the most is I'm Jonathan, princess.
Oh yeah, Jonathan, princess.
I didn't even remember his name.
And then I remember the other part where he's just like, is the dungeon still an option? Like, that was just a really good comedic bit where she's like, no. And so, she's like, okay, take his jacket and his boots and bind him to the front of the gates. And he's like, is the dungeon still an option? And I was like, he did deliver that well. That's it.
Actually, I do remember one scene from him. And of course, it's with my boy, Ansu. It was when they were locked up. And he's like, she didn't give up on us. She fought for us. So I'm not going to give up on her. And then Ansu was like, all right. And I was like, damn. The intensity in that man's eyes. I'm not talking about the prince. The intensity in that man's eyes. I'm sorry. The Huntsman was, I respect it so much because he didn't have to go ahead and add that much intensity. And I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. When I was watching the film, I'm like, oh my, first off, they really fucked with me by doing that long song. That song was unnecessary. It went on way too long.
Oh, the beginning one?
Yeah, you had narration, and then this motherfucker's still singing. Like, that shit irked me. But he woke me up. And that's when I started paying attention a little bit more. And then he went away, and I was like, is he gonna come back?
Well, he does.
Kinda.
A little.
Yeah, he's in the end. He's in the end. All right, so let's talk about a few of those things. So Bundy, you mentioned about Rachel Zegler and her comments. I didn't have an issue with her comments because fundamentally they're not inaccurate, and the idea of, the way I took it, at least the way I understood it, is that it's not so much complaining or being offended by past movies, because at the end of the day, the past is the past. It's happened, it's done. It is what it is. You kind of learn from your mistakes. But the fact is, 70 something, 80 years later, you kind of look back on things that it's like, at that time, things that were considered, romantic and fantastical and that sort of stuff, 80 years later, you look at it and think, yeah, that is kind of weird, so it's a thing. And it's not just Snow White, of course. We know that's just kind of pretty much anything from that era, especially when it comes to romantic behaviors or, things like that. When you look at it years later, you kind of like, maybe we don't do that in this remake, because it's not going to go across so well.
I mean, my problem with it is like this. The bottom line is that, Snow White was made for kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that only kids will watch it, but it was made for kids. And in this movie, it's supposed to be made for kids again, right? And again, not only are kids going to watch it, but it's like you have an opportunity to sell this movie. And one of the things that you say is, well, we're not doing like in the past where that guy stalked her and all. That doesn't matter. That wasn't the intention. It could be perceived as that. Sure. Yeah. But I'm telling you, not one of us as a kid thought, oh, this is creepy. Not one of us. And I guarantee you, no kids right now watching this damn movie or watching the original, I should say, will be thinking that. So this is what bothers me about it. It's like you should talk about the good of this movie. What bothers me is that I think that you just had nothing good to say. You should have said, y'all, oh yeah, I sang my ass off in this film. I sang my ass off in this film. I can't wait for you to hear it.
Yeah, she should have had PR training to say, like,
yes.
I'm very thankful to have this legendary princess role and become part of the princess cast.
Just something positive.
I mean,
that's what turned me on.
Look, I don't think you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, yeah, maybe talk more about the movie itself, but I mean, people need to express. You know what I mean? Like, we can't get into this whole thing about you have to only say certain things because then it just becomes this whole kind of generic slog that everybody just says the same thing. So she said what she said because that's what was in her mind, and it didn't work for the film.
Yeah, but you're not talking to your friend at that point. You're not doing a podcast, for example. You're actually promoting your film. If I'm a director, right, and I'm putting all millions and millions of dollars into this film, I want you to sell this motherfucker like it's squeaky clean and all that shit. Say everything positive. Don't bring up no shit like that. I would have been pissed. I was like, what the fuck is your problem?
Well, the truth, I think a lot of times when it comes to these things, like, they often do get told what to say. Like, you often get things that are greenlit. That's why you often hear actors say things like, oh, I can't talk about that, or I can't talk about this, or I can't, you hear it all the time. So, like, yeah, most likely, I mean, not that I'm on the inside, but most likely that would have been greenlit as a thing to say.
So, okay, not to cut you both off, but like, because of her talking and actions that was starting to tank the movie and people going, the director personally flew out to New York to see her to be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but that's after the fact. After the fact, not like before. No, so like,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, most likely before, like, when you got saying, oh yeah, people are asking these questions, here's the things you can say. That's what they generally go through. So yeah, when she said that, and then people had all this backlash, then they were like, yeah, look, don't say that no more. But that's after the fact.
I do agree. I do know exactly what you mean. That there are some stuff that they get allowed to say and et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think that she mentioned that to them, and they said, yeah, you know what, mention that. I don't think that was the case.
Well, I mean,
I think she kind of freestyled and was just talking, straight off her mind. I honestly believe, and this is just my assumption, that even going into the role and getting the role and everything, that she didn't say these opinions before, because I'm quite sure somebody would have said, you know what?
Maybe she's not the right
fit. No. That's like if you're going for a job interview and you're like, yeah, this job is really, like, I know you guys are full of assholes, but hey, I'll love to work here.
Love to work here, but I fucking hate what you're doing. Like, this shit fucking sucks, but hire me, please.
Yeah, but anyway, before we get too much into speculations, yeah, bottom line is she wasn't incorrect. She wasn't incorrect. Like in the original movie, yeah, the prince basically does stalk her like that. Yes, it's not what they were intended, but you look at it with a 2025 eye, it's not incorrect.
I'll say this. This is why it bothers me. It's like,
Yeah, I think it
we,
was
as adults, right? We joke around with back on Lion King, right? We as adults, we joke that, oh yeah, Nala gave Simba the fuck me eyes.
Oh,
right?
come on. That's where everyone became furries.
Exactly.
Come on.
Like,
like, oh, we're lying. We know. Can you feel the love tonight? Man, he got both the first time. And then when they're like, our trio's down to 2, yeah, because that means that he ain't a virgin no more.
So but here's the thing. Imagine when they came out with the live action Lion King, the voice actor was like, yeah, we're not gonna have that that eye that Nala gave Simba. We're not trying to go ahead and imply anything. It's like there's no need to bring that up. Just fucking focus on this. That's what I'm complaining about. I'm not trying to disagree with her and say, because first off, I don't even remember all that, but I'm not trying to disagree with her. I'm just saying there's a time and place. You get what I mean? That's a conversation for maybe well after the movie or something, or maybe on a podcast. That would be something cool. Be like, oh, wow. I didn't know you felt that way. Not when you're trying to promote the movie and be like, yeah, we're not going to be fucking creeps like they were back then. Those fucking guys, fucking Walt Disney. What the fuck was he thinking?
I mean, Walt Disney was a weirdo though, so like.
No, it's been known that he was racist back in the day. So.
I mean, yeah, I'm quite sure he called a lot of people the N-words, but guess what? The Goofy movie was dope. I love the Goofy movie. I'm just saying it comes from. I'm not saying he made it, but I'm just saying it derives from that. I'm not going to sit there and watch any Disney movie, even the classic ones, and think, man, or want to think, I should say, man, this guy was racist. No, I just want to fucking watch the damn movie.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Because, like, people talk about sort of separating art from artists, but fundamentally, like, the art comes from the artist. And if that artist had, whether it's racist opinions or whatever, kind of opinions, even though the film or their art might not be directly about those opinions, it still comes from that. Like that's where that came from. Like even if the film could be about, I don't know, sausages or whatever. Like, but the fact is, it came from
sausage party.
Yeah, but it came from somebody that holds those opinions, and in some shape or form, those opinions shaped that movie. So it's not to say that you can't watch it or you can't enjoy it, but it is a part of that conversation that's who he was, and that's where, or either directly or indirectly, these things come from. Like for example, the whole thing about fairest of them all, the term fairest of them all basically in that era would have meant whitest of them all, right? But not necessarily white in how we think of white. So when I read into it, what it basically comes down to is that you go back far enough in time, men typically desired fairer or lighter skinned women because it meant that they probably weren't out in the sun working. So you have somebody who was like, more of like a lady of leisure.
Culture today, by the way.
So and that's this. So the thing in some places, but that's where it came from. This idea of like fair and also this idea of fair as a feature of desirability. It wasn't necessarily like white people in how we think of white people, but just people with like lighter skin, because it came from the idea that they're not out, working in the sun, laboring. They're this high class status person that they get to stay indoors while all those peasants do all the work. That's kind of what it meant. So fairness or lighter skin became this sort of symbol of beauty or desirability, and that's kind of where that came from. But of course, by the time we get to now, it's kind of seen more as a racial thing. But yeah, that's where it comes from. And with Jonathan, as we were talking about, so I said Jonathan was a prince, and this is what I mean by that. So he's not a prince in the movie, but in the sense that, so they refer to him as band of erstwhile actors. Basically, they're out of work actors, all right? And the reasons why they're stealing is because they're way of living has been made unsustainable. That's why they're stealing. Although I would say that they don't really need to steal because they clearly can grow apples in the forest, so they didn't need to steal food. But anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, they're out with actors now, going back to sort of Middle Ages time and assuming that this is set in Germany because it's based on the Brothers Grimm version, or based more on the Brothers Grimm version rather than the Italian versions. Assuming it's set in Germany. During sort of later Middle Ages, Germany had what was called the Wunderboom, which is like the traveling theatre. And you had the Principal who sort of led the troupe. So if they're erstwhile actors, you can't, I'm kind of I know it's a lot of theory and assuming, and I'm pretty sure when they wrote this movie, they were not thinking about any of this at all. You know, they were not thinking about German timeframes at all. I'm pretty sure they weren't. But because like I said, I read into it, and I'm kind of a weirdo. That's what I came up with. So yeah, so later Middle Ages Germany had the Wunderboom traveling theatre. Principal led the troupe. So we assumed that Jonathan would be the Principal in this scenario. However, a Principal wouldn't typically be somebody that young because of all the sort of knowledge and experience and things that come along with it. Most likely going to be an older person. So the fact that he is a younger person that's leading this troupe of actors would kind of suggest that he comes from a rich family that were able to sort of, you know, buy his way into leadership, so to speak. And if that's the case, you know, again, assuming that he still treats his troupe with fairness and kindness, and it seems that he does, you know, it does put him in that prince category of sorts, you know. So that was my kind of theory on how Jonathan is still a prince, that he could possibly come from a rich family, but still treats his people with kindness, which is, you know, the kind of the Disney thing. What else was there to bring up? There was things that were mentioned that I had in my mind. I should probably write things down. What was that, sorry?
Gal Gadot singing.
Oh yeah, I just skipped those parts.
I really loved her song. I loved that song.
Yeah, the first one, the villain one, right?
Yeah, where she's like,
yeah, it was a dope song.
You know.
Oh, it's fair. We can play some more.
That was couldn't sing, but it was a dope song.
It is so good, but I'm just like, I'm not sure if this is what it's supposed to sound like. I liked it. I just don't know. Could I have someone
maybe
else?
they should have had fucking Rachel as the villain. And
you know, they should have done what maybe should have done what K-pop Demon Hunters done and just have different singers for the different actors for the singing. You know, in fact, a lot of movies do that actually. Like a lot of film
parts.
Which part?
Well, yeah.
Just have her sing her songs.
Rachel. Yeah, because somebody else. Rachel Zegler is actually a professional singer, so it's kind of no wonder that she
has to be a professional nobody.
Good. But she does mostly theatre than movies, so she's done a lot of like musical theatre. I think she's only done like 4 or 5 movies. There's not that many movies, but yeah, most of her work is musical theatre. Like she did, I believe, at Hamilton, had a long, pretty good run at Hamilton and some other stuff as well. So like, but yeah, Evita as well. She did.
And then she did the prequel to Hunger Games, Songbirds. Yeah. So she was that chick.
But she did a few movies, but mostly theater.
I do not like the expressions that Rachel Zegler has. I'm just like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yo, she had this one expression that I can't forget when she returns to the fucking village, and she looks at the girl. She looks at the girl that puts like the fucking flower thing on her head, and it's like she looked at her like, "Ugh, bitch!" Like, yo, like she just smells shit as soon as she came there. She's like, "Oh shit, I forgot. Oh, y'all niggas dirty. Y'all smelling shit. Y'all didn't even change your clothes." Fuck.
Yeah, I was like, I really don't like your acting. I really don't like Rachel's acting.
But
like,
you know what?
I your way out of a paper bag, but you are not the best woman for this cast.
Yeah.
So.
But I partially blame, especially with like specifically the last scene where it's a potentially good scene when she's talking to the guardsmen and she's convincing them by, you know, calling out their name and talking about, you know, how she knows them, talking about their connection. That's a good scene, but it was acted poorly. her expressions and the way she delivered the lines were just bad. And I blame the director, because you're as a director, you're watching, right? You're watching these performances, and you had the opportunity to go ahead and say, hey, how about we do the role, we retake this scene and do it this way.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go ahead and act, do that. If you're not given any direction, then the actor is gonna think, okay, I did a good job. You can't fully blame them. So I won't fully blame her. She's not, don't get me wrong, not a good actor, at least not in this film. Great singer, not good actor in this film. But the director is at fault too. Not to get too off topic, but this
is easily at fault for that.
Yeah, and not to get too off topic, but this is kind of like what happened with Jared Leto. Me personally, I think Jared Leto can act his ass off. I've seen him do roles where I'm like, this motherfucker can act, and I was excited, even though I was turned off by the whole tattoos and shit of Joker. Like, would Joker actually sit there and write ha 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 and all? No, he wouldn't. I don't give a fuck what iteration it was. That shit's whack. And damage on his forehead. What the hell? This is not MCR days. But anyway, I was excited to see what he was gonna do, because I'd seen him do good. But again, if you as an actor are not given the proper direction from your director, you are going to do something, and if it comes off bad, you are at blame too as the director. Nobody told him, hey, how about you stop doing that? How about you do, I'm not going to tell you how to act, but how about we try something different? Fucking Batman, going back to the Dark Knight days when he did the voice. I mean, don't get me wrong, that voice became iconic, but it's like a mockery a little bit that we kind of remember it iconic nonetheless. Nobody told him, hey, you know what? Not
Maybe
really feeling the voice.
Don't do that. We'll just modify it in post. But yeah, it's always some scene with Zegler. She has like the bulldog thing. So when you have your mouth resting naturally, it's like fine. But she's like, well,
yes.
like the scene with
it's like she's trying to add intensity to it.
That's not how you add intensity. There's other ways to add intensity, and it just shows that you're not a good actor. And it's just like, there's just ways you do it, and I'm just like, why is it with your jaw coming forward like a bulldog? Like, what are you, 5? Oh my god, clearly not the right way.
I mean, I don't know. That might be just how she looks. I don't know.
Nah, because she is an attractive woman. It's just she's purposely doing these fucking expressions because it's like you're trying to watch somebody. You know what it felt like? When I watch these acting classes sometimes, and somebody recorded it, and then they finally released it years later, right, on YouTube. And you see these people trying to get into character. They're at the very basics of acting. That's what it reminded me of. Some candid shit.
Because, like, I don't mind. Like, it's a princess thing. You're supposed to be really innocent and really scared. And this is like, you've never had a moment where you've been scared. Like, someone's trying to fucking kill you, and you're going to have a bulldog, like, boy. Really? Like, that's what you go to? It's not like an institute of, like, I'm about to fucking die. I thought I could trust this guy. You've just been betrayed.
Yeah, she was like, why? Why?
Yeah, it was completely wrong energy and mood. And then when she's like, maybe the queen can let you have some more food. And it's like, can you?
Nah.
No. It's just, it didn't sell well. I don't think she was that good. The whole whistle while you work being changed was not that good. Well, I forgot why I'm going on this tangent. Sorry. But yeah.
All right. Well, you know what?
Yeah, I liked Gal Gadot as the queen. I don't think she should have sang, but I still liked her song. Out of all the songs in the movie, that was my favorite. No, that's not
That's
true.
the one that I was talking about. That's the one.
Oh, yeah. See, that one's a good song.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Dwarfs doing the fucking like hand vein thing. I thought that was really cool, but that's not what I'm talking about. But like that's second song. Second song is Hi Ho. First song, All Is Fair. Yeah, I fucking love that one. Gal Gadot doing that. Hated her costumes. Actually, I hated majority of the costumes in this. It was just,
you know,
You can't live up to the other movie, Mirror Mirror, starring Julia Roberts and Emily Collins. That costuming alone carried a lot of that movie, and you can't live up to something that good when it's already been done. So, anyways,
so before we go too far ahead, though, so yeah, sorry to correct something I said earlier. Rachel Zegler was not in Hamilton, but she was in Romeo and Juliet and Evita, where she played Ava Perón, as on the stage theatre plays.
okay.
But yeah, I thought the acting throughout was fine. Like I said before, like the film is not brilliant, it's not amazing, it's not bad, it's fine, and the acting didn't seem bad by anybody. I mean, the thing to remember is that it's not. The overall film is not supposed to be. Bear in mind it is a kids movie, so they're not necessarily going for that kind of gritty realism type thing. You know what I mean? So it was fine. Like I think for what they were doing, or at least what I assumed they were trying to do, it was okay. I mean, I think if we're making a film, like let's say we're making a film and of Snow White, and we're like, okay, well, first of all, it's not gonna be a kids movie. that's number one. Like we're
going in the Huntsman. Then we go on Kristen Stewart Snow White. Is that what we're doing?
I haven't seen either of those, but I'm just gonna say yes anyway.
It's got Thor in it and Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Hemsworth. But I just think like for example, I mean, you mentioned about Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan, and the voice of Batman. I mean, even things like that, like that. I very much. I mean, again, we're not on set. I don't want to talk like I know, but I very much doubt that Nolan let anything happen on that set that he wasn't okay with. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like acting and how people spoke, I think they knew what they were doing from the very beginning. They were like, okay, this is the voice we want to go with. That's my guess anyway, because like the way, Nolan seems to work, at least from what I can tell from watching his movies, he's very particular, very particular. And plus he's worked with, Christian Bale, I think like 2 or 3 times before that. So like, they kind of know what they're doing. So I don't think they were just doing stuff and they thought, we'll let it go. I can't be bothered to talk to him. I feel like I doubt that happened on that set, but hey, what do I know?
I mean, the thing is that when it comes to relationships like that, where you have a director almost like a tag team or a familiar team up with like actor and director, right? There is a semblance of respect. So it seems like some directors, especially with high profile actors, and Christian Bale is one of those people, and don't get me wrong, Christopher Nolan is definitely high profile as well, but there's this sense of like, I'm gonna let you do your thing. I trust you. And even though I don't think it bothered him, but it was definitely something that's like obvious. Like it's obvious, like that voice is like, what are you kind of doing? But listen, specifically about the voice, it became iconic. In Jared Leto's case, it was something where like everybody wants to shit on him, and don't get me wrong, he was outrageous with the whole fucking story about him trying to get into method acting with gifting people dead pigs and everything. He didn't get it.
I hated that.
Yeah, he didn't get what that character Joker represents. He just thought insanity. Oh, I'm gonna be crazy and random. He didn't understand the character really, and it's a difficult character that not everybody could get.
I mean, look what happened to Heath Ledger. Rest in peace. We love him.
Yeah. It could drive you insane.
Got him. He went too far.
Yeah. Yo, I'm not gonna get too off topic, I promise, but I just want to. It reminded me of this scene, so it's not laughing at Heath Ledger's death or anything, but there was a clip released after Jack Nicholson heard of Heath Ledger's death, And Jack Nicholson heard it, and he's like, "Oh wow." Well, I told him, and everybody thought that everybody, yeah, they had that same look, like, what the fuck? They thought he was talking about the being in the role of Joker, that it could, cause you to live a dangerous life, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But it was specifically about the sleeping pills that he was using. He was aware because apparently Heath Ledger was reaching out to him to like kind of get like, his input and everything. And they were having those kind of personal conversations or something like that. But yeah, that's what that reminded me of just now when you mentioned that. Going back on like the whole relationship with actors and directors, that I feel like it needs to, there needs to be more control. I have like basic experience, like very, very minimal. I've never been on a feature film, never been on, I've been on an independent film set, and I've done like shit in college. I did film in college. So I kind of saw like there's this reluctance sometimes with certain directors that are more timid and they're afraid to speak up. And then I saw directors that did a little too much. And then I saw directors that had that good balance of it. And I even got to be in the seat for like film, like my film shit. I don't have like a bunch of film student films out there, but I got to do some stuff in college where I had to be the director. And there were times where I'm talking to people who are friends and I have to be that director. I have to tell them, listen, this isn't working. We got to try something else. And even then, like, because they're not getting paid, there's some attitude. And then it's like this, hey, we're in the same fucking class. Who are you talking to? Kind of attitude. So even it was, anyway, main point. I noticed from that experience that it's important to go ahead and fill that role. You are a director. You have to guide, right? You have to add some guidance. And if you just let your actor just freestyle, then yeah, they're going to go in whatever direction. If they're bad, they're going to be bad. If they're good, they're going to be good. But you have to be that guide. And I felt like with this shit, they just, she's the main character. And I get that this is a film for kids, but guess what? There's so many fucking kid films that we got that were good. And guess what? Because they were good, because they put in that fucking effort where they didn't have to, it became legendary. It became everlasting. It became immortal. And these are films that are going to be around long after we're dead and gone, that people are going to reference, people are going to talk about and everything. And, if you take time to remake shit, right, like this, you have a chance to go ahead and do something new and give it new life. But instead, you just made a cash grab. That's what you did. And I don't even know if I'm quite sure they probably made back money, but I don't know.
No.
Oh, they didn't?
No,
Okay.
They lost like 500 million. Why do you think Disney announced that there's like they sold IP to Abu Dhabi to build a new theme park there?
Oh.
Yeah, they're that bad.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah. Surprise.
All right,
Yeah,
so let's see here. So this film, Snow White, was directed by Mark Webb, whose first director credit goes back to 1997 with Blues Traveler, Canadian Rose. I believe Mark Webb directed a couple of Spider-Man movies. Let me just see if I can find those real quick before I confirm that. I'm sure he directed, Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. He also directed the Avril Lavigne video and the Green Day video, actually. So yeah, he's got quite extensive directing history, like I say, going back to 1997. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into speculation of what happened and things like that, but I do feel like still what you said, Bundy, about just letting actors do what they. I don't know, that doesn't seem, to my mind, something that would happen on a set where you've got somebody with this much directing experience. Not to say that it can't happen, of course, but I don't know, it just feels a bit unlikely. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's got lots of different directing credits going back from music videos to movies to TV shows. So he's had what, over 20 years worth of directing experience, like 25 years worth of directing experience before he did Snow White. Yeah, that seems a bit unlikely that he was just
Or
letting
maybe he just
stuff go.
saw this film as like he's like, fuck it.
Maybe
He
he was
probably
just
saw
bored.
it as like a quick check. But either way, bad acting for sure. I don't know. I mean, listen, you know, of course, if
Yeah.
I wish that I felt the way you felt. It would have made the viewing experience more pleasant. But instead, I was, what the fuck is going? Like, y'all can't even get it together for the last scenes. Even when I'm not gonna say Gal Gadot was bad, but it was like,
I mean,
I don't know what the fuck that was with her death and everything. Did she die like that in the original?
No.
How did she die in the original?
No,
because
she thinks it falls
she
off a
broke the
cliff or
fucking
something.
mirror, and that makes more sense.
No. Okay, so in the original cartoon, they were running out of time. So the dwarves catch up to the queen, and then she goes up a cliff. And she tries to use a boulder to crush them. Instead, lightning strikes the area she's standing and makes it fall. So she falls to her death, and then the boulder crushes her. But in the original story, I believe, is it? Hold on, let me double check. Yeah. Yeah. So in the original book form, the queen is found out that she tried to kill Snow White. So the king, he comes back and he's all like, "Hey, yo, bitch, you suck. Wear these red iron hot, like fucking melt red hot shoes and dance in them until you die."
See, that's the story I would have made. That's the version I would have made. If they said, "Hey, we want you to make a Snow White movie," that's the version I'm going with.
Yeah, I've seen that. They did that for Hello Kitty. I was like, holy shit.
That'd be the music playing as well. Dance. I don't care if it's not time appropriate. I'd be like,
no Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, man. I'd have that song playing in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, oh my god, that'd be so good. Except it's Snow White singing, and so she's like,
dance.
Or it's Lady Gaga's just dance. It'll be.
So yeah, with just going back to the dwarves for a little bit, if we may. So yeah, one of the things about the CGI dwarves that I read is that the reason, the official reason why Disney went with CGI dwarves is that they wanted to avoid the negative stereotypes from the original movie. And I could understand that from a point of view in terms of, like, of course, 80 something years ago that was, and to now you're not going to do exactly the same thing. Of course, we get that. My thing with that, though, and again, to what I said before as well, I don't personally have a major issue with the CGI dwarves, even though even though I still feel like I would have preferred live actors. But I feel like the issue I have with that explanation, specifically that explanation, is that I don't think the CGI dwarfs do avoid negative stereotypes of the original, like, because they pretty much look exactly the same in terms of their overall kind of design and colors and what they wear, their job and their general purpose to the film. Like, there's not really a whole lot of difference. The only difference, I think, between this and the animated 37 movie is that this time the dwarves have magic hands and they have maybe more dialogue, but their general kind of the way they act, the way they, so there's sort of the look, the aesthetic, nothing's really changed. So the explanation of trying to avoid the stereotypes, I feel like, yeah, I'm not sure you did. I'm not sure you did.
What was the stereotype from the original?
I guess it was more
unwanted and that they're like outcasts in society. So that's why they live in the forest. And they can only mine, so that way they stay away from people.
I mean, if they want to, I think that's the issue with, in my opinion, the issue when people get offended, they sort of double down, because you could easily just twist it to where, like, tell the truth. These people treated them mean. So they said, fuck it. We're going out and we're just gonna stay here. And then at the end, you could resolve it and they all come together and everything. That's how you could have just sorted that shit. You don't have to go ahead and say, all right, we're not gonna go with the dwarves. Oh, you know what? All right, let's make them CGI. Fuck it. I hate that. But it's not a big deal to me because, again, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh yeah, the original. I remember the original. Nah, I barely remember. I listen. You already heard earlier. I thought a dragon was supposed to be in this motherfucker. So,
which Disney movie has a dragon in it? I mean, I'm sure there's loads.
Sleeping Beauty.
It's Sleeping Beauty, Pete's dragon. You know.
Okay, Sleeping Beauty.
Because I know for sure I wasn't bugging. I know.
Wait, that's Sleeping Beauty
from
have a dragon?
Fucking
yes, Maleficent turns into a dragon.
Who?
Yeah.
Maleficent, the big horny witch that goes like this, puts a curse on the baby. So y'all be all like, oh, Angelina Jolie's character in the live action Maleficent turns into a dragon in the old school cartoon.
Turns into a big ass dragon. They stab you with a sword. Dragon. Wow.
Oh.
Yes. But that they changed it in the live action.
Sleeping Beauty is the one with the 3 fairy godmothers, right?
That's correct. It's Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather.
And like one of them, it's like they're not allowed to do magic because the evil queen will find out if they...
No, it's the evil fairy, Maleficent, that will find them. So for 16 years, they don't use magic. They fucked up because on the 16th birthday, they use magic.
Yeah, they use magic, and the snake found them. It was like the demon snake.
It's a crow. It's a raven.
Yeah, the demon crow.
Not a demon, it's just a crow.
Well, there's no demon crows.
There's no demon crow.
There's any demons.
There's goblins.
Okay, so it was a goblin crow?
There's no demons in this.
Okay, so it was just an evil crow.
Yes.
Okay.
We will call it an evil crow because it serves evil Maleficent.
Right, gotcha. Okay, I think I remember now.
I can help you guys. I'm the princess expert over here.
Yeah, the resident Disney princess
that
expert.
Fucking scene where she breaks the mirror and she dies is. I was like, wait, what? That I thought she was transforming. I was like, oh, she gonna turn into the fucking dragon.
Oh,
I was like,
personally, I am kind of like sad that Gal Gadot had like magic abilities. She's like, here is a diamond, and it's just like, oh, why do you have a diamond? Wow. But they introduced it. It's like, oh, there was like this beautiful lady who could do this magic, and it really captivated the king, and so he married her. It was like, damn, she really put that juju on your dick. Like, I don't know what she did, but he liked it, and then he did. So,
you know what? Here's something interesting about that, actually. So, yeah, going back to the sort of Middle Ages times where, this is generically set in. So, it's not very long from when the good queen dies to when he remarries. I mean, we know that just from the fact that Snow White is still very young by the time he remarries, right? But here's the thing, that's actually quite accurate because like during those times, remarrying quickly was very common, and especially if you was a king with no male heir. So if your wife died and you didn't have a son, you'd want to remarry quickly and try to, get a son. So basically during that time is like, or during that setting, one of the reasons to remarry that is that he'd be like, yo, listen, he loves his daughter, but he's not trying to leave the kingdom to her. Not really. He's like,
I don't want to have to marry you off just so I can have like another.
Pretty
kid.
much, yeah. Like he wants a dude.
Yeah.
He wants a boy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't get a boy in the end, but yeah, that would have been a pretty accurate portrayal of types of things that went on during those times. Mm-hmm. Also, they have apple pies in this movie. They bake apple pies. They talk about apple pies. The first recipe for apple pie was 1387. So it's sometime after 1387. You're welcome.
What if it was supposed to be bread, like schnitzel?
Well, bread goes back 10,000 years. So
like what if?
They'd have to be more specific. But they do say apple pies.
But yeah, I guess let's just go back to the Gal Gadot thing.
Her death scene, yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in her crown. I thought it could have been a little bit more fabulous instead of this stained glass kind of look. That bothered me. I also don't understand how she has sequins on a dress, and everyone else is like peasants. I'm like, did you crush diamonds? Like, what the fuck did you do here? Why do you have sequin dresses? Like velvet, I can kind of get behind. I can understand furs, but why do you have sequins? And I'm like, I understand this is a fairy tale, and yes, I love sequins, but this is a new age, the plastic thing. This is plastic. That don't make no sense. So I'm a little disappointed that it was more like just a beaded dress kind of thing. Also, her finally having the whole like garb only when she does her number was a little disappointing. You know, the full like cape thing, the thing like trailing, the full on look that's supposed to be her look from the animated movie. I was just like, oh, it's only in this scene. And I'm like, you just look so cool in it, but I just wish it was in sequence. I don't think Gail did a bad job at acting. I think this is the most time where I heard her voice actually fluctuate.
Yeah.
So, especially with her scenes with the Huntsman. So, yeah. She's like, you're not trying to trade me, are you? Are you? I was like, wow, she actually did something. Wow, I don't think you did that bad. I don't think she was badly cast. I think she was a good queen in that role. Yeah, obviously, she's a bad queen, but singing wise, I liked her song the most. But yeah, I would like to see Gail in more like villain roles. I think she can pull that off well.
I actually liked the last scene actually. So I know Bundy was saying earlier that you didn't like it too much, but I actually like that last scene from when Snow White shows up in a Red Riding Hood outfit. You know, she's got the hood on, and she kind of walks through, and everybody kind of stops. It was a moment where it kind of sort of came full circle. You know, following the story, it was like, you know, this whole thing about, you know, was it fearless, brave, and true? And she's looking for, you know, throughout the movie, she's looking for her father, you know, to come back and, you know, take over from the evil queen. But then all the qualities she was looking for were qualities that she has in herself, and that's, you know, kind of the message of the movie, which I thought was, you know, really cool and really nice. And I think by the time it gets to the end, and you see it, it's like, oh, you know, that's kind of a nice way of doing it. And then they had that little continuation of the song.
You think so?
Yeah,
I
thought so. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I mean,
I think more of the people should have been like with her instead of her just being like, "Oh, you're Paul, you're a baker, and now you're a guard. You're Samwise, you were a gardener, but now you're a guard, and I remember you helped him to like." I wish more people backed her up and be like, "Yeah, Snow White's right. You are Paul. You were our neighbor. Now you're a dickhead." Saving the queen. And
you could, but then I don't know. You might just have too many people speaking.
No, like they could have done like 3 extras with at least one line, and then Snow White's like, "See, we all remember."
But it did have that part.
Remember the good times. You know, it could have been something like that.
Well, it kind of did though with the guards when he's like, I remember," and it did have that bit where she says something like, you know, you and your wife, you and your wife Eleanor, and he looks at the crowd and you see presumably Eleanor, you know. Yeah, so they did involve the crowd a little bit.
They could have had someone in the crowd be like, "I miss you, come home," you know, like stop being a fucking guard dude and sleeping at the castle. Because, you know, if you're on duty, you're probably still staying at the barracks at the castle. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to leave the castle to live in the village.
I mean, I thought the old guy was going to be his one of the guards' fathers. Yeah, so I was kind of expecting something like that. My problem with that scene is like it had potential to be something like heart-wrenching, where you know, she could have just been natural, like just calm straight. It was like she put her head down as if, I'm ready for you to start killing these people, and then she raises it up all slow and dramatic, and it's like, Paul, I remember you. You're like, it was so
static.
Yeah, like just seize the moment and just be like cut the bullshit and be like, Paul, I know you. Like, stop. just connect. And that would have been more heart wrenching. It would have, because I'm
I
like,
feel that's what she did though. Like she said,
hell no,
I remember you.
I'm Bandit.
She
No
talked
disrespect.
I mean, she
but
like talked about her
hell
family.
no,
She was
did
like,
not do that shit.
she was like,
She
gave
did exactly. All right, so watch
Okay,
this.
no. What he's saying, like, he's saying that the acting fell flat and it didn't give you the moment that you wanted. Sure,
Hell
she
yeah,
did
yeah,
do
yeah.
what you're saying she did, Bandit, but the level of emotion that could have been presented did not give us that moment to make us all jerk our tears out. Like, it wasn't as emotional as it should have been.
I wanted that to be the moment that would have made me sad, because that's something that could resonate. Where, like, if you live in one of those small neighborhoods, there, people go through life and everything, and then there's some people that, depending on where you're at, they end up robbing you or robbing somebody that and you're like, yo, I know this motherfucker. Like, I went to school with this motherfucker. Like, something like that. That could have been that moment. And I was
like, why you
just
playing?
wanting something. Yeah. Like, I know you. Put that knife down.
Like, at the church, at the pew of like, oh, I remember the church boy's name. Paul?
Yeah. It's like with this conversation that we're having right now.
Yeah.
If I was to act like Rachel, no, Bandit, I disagree. It's not like that. Not like that at all. It's a difference. Sure, but this is, I'm talking to you because I know you.
Yeah.
Podcast, we're going to be reading.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, in the show, you have to remember, like, what type of film are they making?
No,
it's like, what type of film they're making?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
because it's part of it, though, because, like, it's all part of the tone and what they're trying to do, right?
But the tone sucked. That's the problem.
What I'm saying is that, like,
what I'm saying is this. It's like, I get that it's acting. That's fine. But acting is about illusion. It's about going. I don't want to watch something and constantly be reminded they're acting. I want to go into it and feel that emotion.
No, I understand that. But here's what I'm getting at. You're talking about what you want, right? What I'm saying is that's what you want is not what they're trying to do. It's not that film. This isn't, Terrifier or or whatever. It's Snow White. Remember, like, primarily this is a kids movie. So
no, I get that. Hold on. We're supposed to just go ahead and accept mediocrity just because it's a child's film.
No.
That means
that's not what I said.
Toy
that's not what I
Story
said.
be good.
That's what I said.
Lion King
should have been
Little
That's what I said.
I could keep going.
That's not what I said. But you have to remember, like, fundamentally, we're not the audience. We're not the target audience, right? So
I am the target audience.
So going to, like, what you want.
Got Disney connections,
right? But what I'm saying is that, like, the tone in that scene is fine for what they're trying to do. I mean, sure, yeah, we are going to feel something different, right? But I mean, I think, I don't want to say your age, but I think you're. I'm older than you, I know, but you're not younger than 29. I don't believe.
I thought I told you my age.
No, so about sweet.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to feel something different about how things are acted out and fit this and the third, but, like, I feel like the tone, the energy, everything in the film, in that scene, it was fine for what they were doing. For what they were doing, it was fine. Like, she doesn't need to go, super depth and, heart wrenching and,
I'm not listening.
It doesn't need to be that.
Because they almost
it doesn't need to be that.
Okay, they almost killed Anna, so yes, they can. They almost killed Elsa. Yes, they can. So in Disney movies, they absolutely can have that tone.
I would say can't. I'm saying they don't have to.
Remember, I'm sorry, this isn't a Disney movie, but still, I want to bring it up. One of the movies that I never experienced this before. Remember Up?
That's a Disney movie.
Yeah. Oh, it is a Disney. Perfect. Thank you so much. Perfect.
Christ.
Up is the only movie that I've ever experienced where I cried in the first 10 fucking minutes.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
And it's amazing because it's done through storytelling and everything. And I'm just saying that just because a film is a kids film doesn't mean you have to fucking just put out anything. I feel like
Nah, of course not. But I'm
not
saying
asking
they
for
don't
some.
have to.
No, I completely understand that. I'm not asking for some grade A Oscar winning acting. I'm just saying you have a job to do. Do your fucking job. Look at Ansu. That's why I keep talking about him, because he didn't have to do that. But the fact that he came on that fucking set knowing that he only had that one fucking scene, and he was the only motherfucker in the entire film that I believed, oh, this nigga's gotta actually stab somebody. That's what I wanted. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying you have a job, you have an opportunity. Go ahead and seize the moment. Don't just half-ass it because, oh, it's a kid's film. Fuck it, I'm getting paid anyway. A lot of people could do that with any film. Really.
You're not getting booked again if that's how you think. Like,
exactly. Guess what? Ansu is the only that motherfucker. That little moment out of all that bullshit, right? It's like having a fucking plate of. This is a crazy analogy. I don't even know why I started this, but it's like having a plate of fucking roaches and saying you got to eat this, or this fucking banana. I'm gonna appreciate the banana so fucking much. Like I never had bananas before, and this is the only food I've ever had compared to all these plates of roaches. And that's why I felt like he was in this film. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not asking for the best out of these people. I just want more effort. And I felt like that scene was the scene that was going to make me go like, you know what? I was a little too harsh on this film.
No.
And they dropped it.
No, I require a lot because you are portraying one of the first princesses to hit movie theaters in screens that launched Disney's legacy. You are his baby girl. Did you know the voice actress from the OG princess, like Snow White, was not allowed to do any other roles, and he owned her voice so that way it would not tarnish Snow White's name. This is a very big deal, and they
I did not know that.
It. Yeah, like that.
But Walt Disney owned the voice.
Yeah,
That's
they basically
insane.
they cock blocked her from any other gigs, so she was not allowed to sing with her voice anymore. She couldn't do anything with the whole nah. You are done because you are Snow White, and we are protecting that image. And that image has been poisoned, not by the apple, but by this entire movie. And there's other people who made Snow White movies, but this is Disney Snow White. This is supposed to be like not groundbreaking. It's supposed to show the legacy coming back to life, bringing back the magic and the imagination with just the bite of a little apple, and they fucking failed. That's how big this is supposed to be. The tone needed to be there. They didn't need to change the recipe too hard because, like, it didn't need to be long. It needed to have,
I was surprised that was fucking 2 hours.
Yeah, it did not.
I was like, God damn.
Like, it needed to have the right tones at the right times, and it just missed a lot of that when it needed it to be. Also, Dopey did not need to talk. I hated that. Fucking hated that. So,
listen, I'll tell you, not once did I realize that he was dopey until he said, yeah, I'm dopey. I was like, wait, what? Because I remember Dopey. Dopey was the big-headed motherfucker with the tiny-ass ears that looked like the character from, y'all remember the Mad TV comics?
Yeah, he's supposed to look like
Mad TV. Yeah, I remember that.
I thought that's how he's supposed to look. He didn't look like that. He just looked like a regular fucking dwarf.
Actually.
Like, compared to, he looked like a regular fucking dwarf compared to everybody else. Everybody else had exaggerated features. He had the most normal out of all of them. And he was just chilling. He was chilling. Yeah. Hey, what's that? Hey, guys, chill out. She's cool.
The other part, too, is that they actually really gave the dwarves neurodivergent personalities. If you caught on to that. Did anyone?
No. In this movie, in the remake?
Yeah, in the remake.
I did not caught on to that.
Action. Yeah. So, like, I would say Doc had, like, high-functioning autism or ADHD because he was just, like, hyper-fixated on things. Had, like, hay fever constantly. So there's that. Dopey, I would definitely say had like some kind of Asperger's or either what is it? What's the other one?
Autism.
Yeah, autism. So I mean, Asperger's is a type of autism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he definitely had that, and then Sleepy had narcolepsy, obviously. So it's just like really interesting that you could really see not just as a like character, but it's like
he almost died in this film.
Who?
Sleepy.
What?
In the high hole zone. That motherfucker almost fell into the spikes. I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Grab him.
But yeah, so I just wanted to briefly touch back on the Dwarfs of them and their
that's actually, that is interesting though. Because it's something that I think a lot of movies and a lot of shows are kind of doing now with that, where they have these traits, but they're not necessarily telling you that they have these traits.
On the nose about it, yeah.
You know,
I actually watched like the clips and everything that you did about, you know, talking about like when you were talking about the K-pop characters and everything, and you were asking if they had some of those traits too. And you know, when I was watching the clips, I was thinking back on it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I could kind of see it. Yeah, okay. So now that Celeste pointed out, I feel like, you know, you got to start doing some research into this too.
Yeah, I mean, I know with the Dwarfs, so they did like in the original ones, or the, you know, the writings in the short stories, the Dwarfs didn't have names, and it wasn't until they made
in the book.
Yeah, in the Snow White short stories. They never had names. So the first time the dwarves were given names were in the play. They did a play in like 1912, but the names were like Flick, Blick, Quick, Click. They weren't the same names. Now, when Disney was doing their movie, they were like, okay, so we want these characters to have distinct personalities, and then they want the names to reflect those personalities. So, you know, in this film, in the 2025 film, where Grumpy says something like, somebody says just because his name's Dopey doesn't mean he's not a dope. And Grumpy's like, of course that's what it means. That's actually true. It's actually true. They were named after their personalities. So they came up with these personalities, and they came up with, a bunch of different names to reflect those personalities. And then that's when we got the Dopey, Doc, Sleepy, all that to reflect that. So yeah, I guess by now when you're making a movie in 2025, people are thinking more about neurodivergency. So it's not just saying, oh, this is their names, because that's what, back in 1937, they're just like, oh yeah, make him sleepy, so we call him Sleepy, or he wants grumpy, so we call him Grumpy. Now it's kind of like, well, why is he grumpy? And in fact, to come to think about it, they kind of touch on that a little bit in this movie as well, where Snow White's talking to them, and she says something like, you feel like they don't listen to you. And he's like, yes, and he kind of stops in a moment, because he's trying to be angry, but now he's realizing that somebody's understanding why he's angry. So I guess they kind of touch on it a little bit in this as well, just like that their personalities and why they have these personalities. And so it's not just, he's sleepy, he's grumpy. I think narcolepsy does get mentioned. Now I think about it as well. I think Doc does mention something about Sleepy having narcolepsy, or something along those. I'm sure he says. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like I remember one of the characters do mention it. So yeah, could be something worth looking into a bit more.
He had like the only line that actually made me laugh in this film, which was when reiterating what you just said, when Grumpy was like, "Yeah, and I'm grumpy because I'm misunderstood."
Yeah, to be fair, okay, like slightly on the same thing. I am the Rebel Quig, master of crossbow. I laughed so hard at that guy. He was. He
did get his crossbow back as well.
Like when he actually got a crossbow. Huh?
Her big bad thing was, okay, I create this ice crystal. I'm going to have you, a single guard, kill each and every single person here with this fucking ice crystal or whatever the fuck it was, diamond crystal, whatever, that knife. And it gets shot out of her hand, and then it deteriorates, and then she just goes like, oh shit, and then she just walks into the fucking castle.
Yeah, I think that was still not that cool. I think they could have like chased her into the castle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
something.
Give us food. We're starving. Like, you know.
So what? We're talking about the end scene again.
Yeah. Right. Because
Okay.
the Rebel Quig is so cool, and he's like, I am the Rebel Quig, and I'm master of the crossbow. She's like, that's not a crossbow. He's like,
yeah. So he shoots the glass knife out of hand, and it was a magic knife. So I guess it lost its magic power or whatever and disintegrates. But yeah, in her, I guess, anger or whatever, she kind of turns back and runs to the castle to confront the mirror one more time about who's the fairest of them all. And the mirror's like, nah, still not you, bitch. And then that's when she breaks the mirror with the scepter, but it's a magic mirror, so maybe that's not such a good idea. And it sucks her into the magic mirror, and presumably she's lost in the magic mirror dimension.
Oh, she's gonna see
Part 2, the evil queen returns from the depths of the mirror.
So what was that? At least had a scene where she became the magic mirror now. Like,
well, she might
to be there. That would have been dope.
That's a little too on brand for the previous movie that came out called Wish. Did you guys hear about that one?
I heard of it, didn't see it.
So that one came out for Disney's 100th anniversary, which was like a few years ago. And they were like, oh, what is the core factor of Disney? And it's like a wish. So they made a movie around wishes. And like, I don't know if you guys are going to watch it, but that's kind of a big thing about having a magic mirror. So it kind of goes back to that. And I think because that ending already kind of thing with the mirrors again.
I mean, I would love if you told me. I know I'm not going to watch. I know what you're talking about.
Anyways. Okay, so what happens is, like, the King Magnifico, he's supposed to grant wishes. Instead, he breaks the wishes, and that's how he becomes evil. And you can't reverse evil. And then he's all like, blah, 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 blah. Something happens to his scepter that turns into a mirror, and then he gets sucked in. And that's how he becomes the magic mirror. So that's how he, like, answers people shit. Which is kind of different.
Yeah, but they should have still did it. It would have been a cool callback.
Yeah. So I think it would have been nice. They also did something like that in Once Upon a Time, which is the live action Wannabe.
Oh, the one that was on like one of them ABC channels or something like that, right? Okay. Yeah, a lot of people love that shit.
Oh yeah, my husband and I, was so good. But then when they tried to revive it, we were like, nah, we good. So we didn't watch it. So, but yeah, like I like how the ending happened where she fragmented, but I wish it led to that differently. So, a cool concept, bad execution.
Yeah, if she had like tussled with Snow White moves or something, and then she hits it, it would have been cooler. Or she threw something at Snow White dodges, it would have been cooler like that. But just her going like, man, fuck this, fuck you, Mirror, and then Mirror's like, fuck you too.
Yeah.
Thing about, sorry, okay.
Oh, okay. I'll just do it really quick. Like, I think if anything, she could have just been like Snow White could have ran to the mirror and just been like, I can show you what true fairness is. And like said, mirror, mirror. Like, it would have been cool if Snow White was like, I'm going to show you, you don't have power over this mirror. Like, I can talk to it. And if she reversed it, where she's like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And it's like, it's you, Snow White. And then the queen threw her goblet or something, ice dagger. And then it's
like that better.
And then try to grab Snow White to come in too. Instead, it just grabbed her because you know what I mean. Like that would have been such a cooler scene.
I like that better.
Was what we got. So
I feel the problem with that though is that Snow White's character isn't really caring about who the first of them all is. That's kind of what makes it, because remember they talk about the whole inner beauty, and that's why her fairness trumps her beauty, because she has trumps the queen's outer beauty because she has that inner beauty. So somebody who's more on the inside and more about being kindness isn't really going to care about looking in the mirror and asking who's the fairest. So yeah, I don't think that would have really fit with the character. But speaking of that though, where the mirror does say that, because she has beauty from within, and that's why it should always be fairer than thee. This is one of the things I felt about the movie that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, is that if inner beauty trumps outer beauty, surely there's plenty of people that were fairer than the queen.
Oh yeah, easily.
You know what I mean?
Especially for how long she's been ruling.
Like, there's gonna be loads of people.
And now she's like, what, 14, 16? So it's just like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like
Mhm.
for 8 years, this bitch is the nicest from the inside out. Like that's a lie.
Yeah, that's a plot hole right there. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that was
That's
like
a
I
big
don't.
fucking plot hole.
It's like I get what you're trying to do, and I appreciate the message because it's a good message, right? At the same time, you did, I think it's fair to say you didn't construct the movie around that message particularly well.
That's why it's a pickup, you know. At the end of the day, they re-picked that up because it's like, okay, so Bandit's got a point, but I think what she could have done in that case is like, someone could have been like, "Oh, Snow White, welcome to your castle," and then they're holding the queen guard, and she's like, "Yeah, I remember this room. This is where my dad used to have story time," and she's like, "What's this mirror kind of thing?" And she's like, "Why? Why do you need this? Like, is this where you get all your magic powers?" Or like, this isn't what you need. Why? Like, it's just a mirror. Why don't we put it for everyone to use? And then she's like, and then she'll like throw something to break it, or she gets loose and then she like conjures something and she's all like, oh! And then the mirror breaks because she doesn't want to share. You know, like I think there's ways that they could have gotten back inside the castle with her rather than chasing the queen. Because the whole thing Snow White is about is like, I want it to be fair for everyone. So like, you know, why do you only get to look at yourself? Maybe other people want to look at themselves, you know, like share your fucking wealth is what she's saying. So that could have been another way to write it, but they didn't. So again, hire me. I'm here for.
I feel like the Huntsman should have been the one that shot the shit out her hand instead of
Quig, Master of the Crossbow. But I love Quig. He's so cool.
Yeah. I love Huntsman.
I mean, I like both of those characters, but it just, you know, they didn't do it right. It should have been the Huntsman. I agree. Because he's all like, I'm going back to my family. That was the end of his storyline. He's like, I'm out. I got out of jail. Like my family.
Yeah, they had that whole thing about Quake and the Master of the Crossbow kind of running through the movie. So yeah, it kind of makes sense, especially after he gets his crossbow back, that he shot the thing out of her hand. You know, I don't know. Maybe they could have had the Huntsman do something else, like maybe he picks up the dagger and stabs her eye out or something.
Look at Bandit coming in, Mr. Oh. Yeah, here's the tone. That's not what they're going for. And now you're all like, oh yeah, he's gonna be a thug.
That's the
eyeball out.
That's the David Leone version.
How did you guys feel about the very end? Like the whole celebration scene? Because I got an opinion about it, but it's not a big opinion.
I like it.
It's fine.
I think it's fine. Cute. They fucking made her look good. It was very clean. And I hate Dopey reading it though. Like it could have been the Huntsman reading it. That guy's got a fucking charismatic voice. But it's Dopey reading. Again, I don't think Dopey needs to be vocal. It's okay for people to not have vocal like things. It could have been cute for him to be whistling and playing like an accordion. But I thought it was really nice seeing everyone being jovial and dancing. And she didn't have a really ugly acting face. And I'm just like, thank God it's not Jonathan pulling her to the side and making out. Because I'm like, I don't. No.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine. I mean, I didn't have any particular big opinion on it. They were, you know, they're all wearing white, I guess, and dancing and having a good time. And, you know, it was fine. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was, you know. Yeah. I mean, I would say, yeah, in regards to Dopey reading and you find out by the end that it was him that was narrating the story. I mean, I don't think I would say I hated it. Like Celeste seems to, but yeah, I think you're right in the sense that they probably didn't need him talking that much. Like the bit where he speaks for the first time and he says, "Let them try," you know, I thought that was kind of cool, you know, because he's silent throughout and then he just has that one line, "Let them try." It's kind of like the Silent Bob moment, you know what I mean? Where
he didn't talk earlier. I thought he talked in the.
He had like another moment, I think.
Yeah, when he was like, "Hey guys, chill out."
No, that's the first time he tried. Technically, it's not the first time he talks in the movie because he was narrating at the beginning, but you just don't know that it's him.
But what I'm saying is, there was a scene when Snow White was in the house, and then the dwarves were chasing her.
He whistles. He doesn't talk.
The one that said, "Hey guys, chill out."
No, he whistles.
Who was that?
That was Doc.
Yeah, Dopey whistles, but he doesn't talk.
No, he only whistles after Snow White teaches him. I
think, but during that scene, I think he whistles.
Like one of the, I know That's one of the first parts where he does talk, but I think there's another part where he talks again. I just don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, the first time we see him talk in the movie is when it's after Snow White wakes up from, being dead for 5 minutes or whatever. And then she was like, oh, we're going to go to the castle. It's going to be dangerous. I can't remember the exact wording. And then Dopey was like, let her try. We're not afraid anymore. So, I feel like if that was kind of a cool Silent Bob moment, where... You know what I mean by Silent Bob, by the way? Am I just making a reference nobody gets?
Yeah.
I know what that is. Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes, yeah. So it's kind of a cool thing like that. But they probably could have done without him talking for the rest of the movie. But I don't feel strong enough about it to hate it. So
yeah, that's his first line. You're right. I asked Google, and Google said me. His only lines are, "We're not afraid, not anymore," and No, and then he says, "Let her try." So he first says, "We're not afraid, not anymore," and then he says, "Let her try."
I don't even remember. I don't even remember that line. But
so, what was your thoughts on the end scene, Mister Bundy?
My only complaint, really, it irked me that he was the one reading, but not because the whole silent thing. Because I remember this whole time I was thinking that he already spoke, so I got over that bump. But I just didn't like the whole white washout thing. Like, I don't like that everybody was wearing white. It just, like, I get it, but it just seemed like a drop ball. Like, I feel like this was the scene where you had the contrast from the previous scene, the climax, where everybody looked so washed out. Wearing, like, even the people that were wearing colors, it looked desaturated, especially in comparison to what Snow White was wearing, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this last scene where everything is white. I'm like, God damn. Like, add some color. That would have been nice. It would have been everybody is on the same level.
I think it would have been nice in red then to signify, like, love and...
Yeah, shit. Any color. Any color would have been nice in all equal saturation. That would have been great. That's what I was expecting. And then when I saw everybody wearing white, I'm like, the fuck? Did somebody die in Wakanda again? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
dude, Rihanna singing
Lift
me up.
Oh yeah, Rihanna.
Hold me up.
Oh man.
I mean,
thanks a lot, Bandit. You fucking asshole. Now that shit gonna be stuck in my head. I hate, like, don't get me wrong. When I first heard that song, I was like, damn, this shit is beautiful. Damn, this shit is heartbreaking. Oh my God. But when I heard it about the 60th time, I was like, all right, man.
I think she says like 3 words for the whole song.
Yeah.
All right, 5, 6 words for the whole song. Lift me up, hold me there. I mean, I'm exaggerating, I know, but it's,
No, but I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Like, because you know why that irks me? That song, I mean, it's because they played it at my job. So, it's like, I'm not going to ramble because I know we got to start wrapping things up, but it's like in retail, right? Any form of retail, they start playing these fucking songs sometimes that are just like, why are you playing this at work?
Because you slowly dying inside working.
That's what it felt like. It felt like a fucking funeral for me.
Exactly. To be fair, I know that because I used to work retail.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I worked at vitamin retail shit, so it was different. Didn't got full clothes. Nope. I got to deal with all the old grannies coming in being like, do you have the new doctors? Or like, who was it? Dr. Oz, the doctors, and Oprah.
Yeah.
My God. People coming in, you got this resveratrol. Do you have raspberry ketones? I'm like, what the fuck is next? Green tea extract, something fucking random. Of course we don't carry that. That's not normal. Fuck. It's called general nutrition for a reason. You don't fucking eat that in your day, okay. Of course we're not gonna have it. Okay, most random thing. I'm going to do it really quick. Someone came in smelling like deer piss, asking for deer horn extract. Done.
Oh.
There you go. That's the story.
That solves the mystery.
Yep.
Well, that's why they smell of dick.
People, we're done.
Yeah, so as Bundy said, we should start wrapping up a little bit. But before we do, is there any final thoughts or things you guys want to say about Snow White that we haven't said already that we should say before we depart? Lady Celeste, would you do you have anything else to add to the conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best scenes that we had was when she was running through the forest, and it was like starting to close in on her. She was running.
Oh yeah.
Like it really
with the
showed
red background.
Yeah. It looked so good, and I think that was some of her best acting because we didn't see her face. Also, her being washed out through the water, I thought that was really good. But it's just like I'm really disappointed in the fact that this bitch had other people braid her hair, and like she just kept her hair like, okay, my hair, this is just natural how it is right now. It's okay. But if I wanted to make myself kind of look presentable or get it out of my face while I'm fucking sweeping, I'm going to braid it. So why couldn't she just, I don't know, do a cute little braid throughout the entire movie instead of looking like Lord Farquaad? I'm really disappointed about that. But like in Germany, they fucking have braids all over the place. They have that little dwindle shit that braids are here shit. And it's just like, okay, it's nice that they told us, oh, she looks like stupid Lord Farquaad because she cut her hair. And that's what the queen mandated, that she always has fucking Lord Farquaad hair. But it's like, dude, you could kind of like, I don't know, braid that with a ribbon. I don't know.
Give her cornrows. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do something. Learn to do something, because it's like, you already braided your hair before. It's not hard to braid smaller sections. So I was really pissed off about that. Really disappointed that it's like, yeah, your dress got ripped, but it's just like, okay, no other parts of your dress got ripped. It was just the bottom of the skirt. That's really fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, not one shoulder slit, not one shoulder, not one part of your collar, just the bottom of your skirt. Just the bottom of your skirt. Not even torn socks. And it's like, we did see her socks. So I was like, okay, I saw that. And she's got red shoes. So I'm like, okay, you chose to do red shoes. That's fine. But I'm just like, you could have made more creative fashion choices. And it's very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, that whole, the dress, her hair was clearly based on the original, well, I say the original, the animated version. Like, they didn't change much, if anything, from the way she dresses in that. And I get it, you know, but I think personally they probably should have went with a different dress. Because but I mean,
it didn't translate well in live action.
Yeah,
but it can. That's the problem. Like, it can translate well if you watch Mirror Mirror, the one with Julia Roberts and Emily Collins. They had the blue dress with, like, it just depends on who's your artist, you know, your fashion designer. Go on. So, you know, what were you saying?
No, that's actually good input, because I mean, you do cosplay, so you do have that, you know, you already have those eyes for it.
So yeah, I think that's my last point. I feel kind of bad about a lot of the other scenes, but the biggest thing is just like, Zegler, I think she was not casted well. Not because of her statements, but just the way she acted was not. It was not princess-like. It wasn't friendly. Like, it wasn't brave or kind in any way, shape, or form. The fight when they had in the forest, when she's like looking around, they're like scouting around. I was like, this is so painful to look at. Yeah, I hated that scene. That was the worst.
She could sing her ass off, though. I'll give her that. That's it. She could sing.
Yeah, considering that Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast was like pretty bad. Yeah, but I'll go. Like, yeah. But I'm just saying, they could have done something better, something better than that. And I'm like, ooh. All right, I'm done.
All right, cool. All right, sweet Bundy, would anything you'd like to add that we haven't talked about already?
Just real quick, the old lady transformation when she turns into the old wicked lady. That shit sucked. I felt like it could have looked way better. Shit, it's Gal Gadot. I would have been like, yeah, you be all right. Let's put some fucking Vaseline on your face or something and comb your hair. We can make it work. Shit, I'll probably eat that apple too. But all jokes aside, like that scene was kind of dumb. They could have did something different. Like anything could have been better than what they did. She just came out of nowhere. She looks creepy as fuck. How you gonna find me in the middle of the woods and you dressed in black and you go, "Hey, have this apple. I used to know your father." Oh, you okay? Like, nah.
Didn't even wash it first.
That was ass. That was ass. But yeah, that's all. I just remembered that, and I was like, yeah, I hated that scene. I actually hated that fucking scene. I don't remember how it happened in the original.
In the original, she asked like
it's pretty much the same, I think, isn't it?
Huh?
Isn't it pretty much the same in the animation?
Same. It's just the way she concocts her potion is different. So it's not with this like really crazy like spinning crystallized glass shit. She's just like, okay, I'm reading a book. I need a witch's cackle. I need a fucking venom shit, some cobweb dust, and now thunder. And then she drinks it. Then she's all like, I gotta make a poison apple. Reading a book.
I do remember this from the original. I remember that apple looked good as fuck. The apple did not look good in this one. It looked like one of the pasty ass apples that they used to serve in with school lunches over here. That's what it looked like. It didn't look like no tasty ass apple. Like I would go ahead and eat that. Nah, it looked like them shits. Like, yeah, all right, thank you. I'll put that shit on my table and then throw it away at the night.
Yeah.
Like, nah. So yeah, that's it.
All right.
I just knew that we didn't even talk about her transforming into the old lady, and it clicked in my head.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure I have anything to add. I think I've said everything I want to say about this movie. So I'll leave it there. It's it's a fine film. Not great, not brilliant, not terrible. Could it be better? Sure. Could it be worse? Sure. But yeah, it was. It's meh. It's a meh out of 5. So
is that like a 1 or a 2, or is that a 0.45?
It's a meh out of 5. But yeah, that's what we think of of Snow White, the 2025 Disney live action remake. Let us know what you think of the 2025 Disney live action remake of Snow White. Do you agree, disagree, have any other thoughts? Drop them in the comments, let us know. Find us on the Twitters and the Instagrams and all those places. Suggestions, all appreciated. But thank you for watching and or listening, and until whenever, if ever, peace.